people kind of come in and look at you, Shiva God, with the.
Oh, I like the title, Shiva God. It's been a while, huh, Art?
Yes, it has. It has. So are you rusty? Are you like nervous talking in front of me?
I'm extremely nervous. Like I have a whole script I've rehearsed for like the last 1 week. I have jokes written down, and I'm sweating.
You know, I'm. Those are all things that are turn on for me. So you want to?
Oh my God! How are you, Art? Good to see
Nervous
you.
and
It's been a
sweating.
while.
Anyway,
By the way, we are live. We are live. I think we are live.
Yeah, we are live, but you know, I'm not going to offend anybody. They already know how bad I am.
There
Anyway,
you go.
so,
there you go.
You know, we probably have 1 or 2 people that will watch this tonight, so it's just a conversation between you and me. Yeah,
that is true. That is true. But I gotta say, it's great to have you back in a new avatar from Tequila Time to Art Wolfe Live. Before we get there, I want to ask you, how's your summer been? You took some time off doing
but
whatever
we're not
you
live
do.
now. This stuff should be spoken when we're live.
We are live.
No, but we're still 2 minutes early.
Oh, okay, got it. So we just skip chit chatting.
Yeah, we're still.
I can see we have 34 friends on Facebook already.
Already. Good. 34 people. That's like an extended Catholic family right there.
That is a typical Indian family.
That is a typical Indian.
That is typical known Indian family. If you count all the brothers, sisters, one would have that you don't know, that might be more.
Yeah.
That's a random joke.
That is a random joke. Okay, so is this 6 o'clock straight up? So again, welcome. I mean, it's been a while since we talked. Yeah?
Yes.
So, since the last Tequila Tuesday and the last Earth is Our Witness, what have you been up to?
I'll tell you, man, we have been doing this together for the last 1 year, both Tequila Time and Earth is a Witness. And even with EIOW, we did 40. And I just thought, like, it's summer, let's take some time off. Both you and I do our thing. So I took my boy to Yellowstone and Grand Teton and hung out with our friend Tom Mengelson and Tiffany. So that was good. Saw Grizzly 399. So that was what I did. It was awesome. I did, yeah.
Wow.
It was Anna, 4 beautiful cubs. How about you? What did you do?
I basically caught up with all the workshops that we had to postpone from last year. So we fit them in to already existing workshops. And so, yeah, I've been basically teaching. And then I did a tour of Iceland, which you'll see tonight in a little video. And then just last week, I was in the South Sudan. So I have not sat still, as should be expected, all year long. So, but it was nice to take a break from Tequila Tuesday and sober up. And now we've got a new format.
So tell me about the new format. How is Art Wolfe Live different than Tequila Time?
Well, first of all, I'm not going to be drinking tequila.
Okay.
I'm going to try to face my audience sober. And we're going to make it a slightly shorter show, 25 to 30 minutes, because at times we went over an hour and everybody's got busy lives.
Yeah.
And we realized that. So the way this format will be is once a month. And it's going to be generally the last Tuesday of every month. And we've got the dates at the very end of this program. I'll share the dates for the next one. But we're going to have like 3 components. We're going to start with something that's in the news, you know, some relevant subject that's been talked about in the last couple of weeks or 3 weeks. And I'll try to make it relevant to what I do. And you'll see that in a few moments. Then I have been creating little videos that we'll share. I mean, little videos meaning 5, maybe a little longer than 5 minutes. And I've got one on Iceland, and I've never shot videos before. So that's
new
challenge.
That's new.
I don't want you making fun of me when you're watching this little video. I've literally never shot a video in my life before I went to it.
I will hide the fun I would feel, but I will hide that. I will try my best.
Okay. And then at following the little video, then I will talk briefly about a couple of the lessons that I learned or was trying to do while in Iceland. And then finally, we'll just respond to any questions that might come in during the course of the 25 minutes.
Good. So anyone watching live has questions, I will look at the questions, at least on Facebook. and ask them, and then Libby can do the same for YouTube.
Yeah, can I just interject that you look stunning in front of the auroras with that red shirt and the green auroras and that headset. You look like a ninja. You look like a Shiva god. I'm in awe.
That is nice. I love that. Like, nobody has given me so much compliment and respect. Like, thank you. You
And
just
you know
made my
it's
entire
all
year.
sarcasm. All right, so I'm going to share. I believe I share here. I haven't done this for a while, and am I right? So I've got handlers over on this end. Click, and
I can see.
I'm lost. I'm totally lost. I'm on YouTube, but Kyle is earning his money right now, and there's my little slideshow.
There you go.
So, you know, everybody's been talking. If people have been paying attention to the news, Parimal, they've been watching the eruptions in the Canary Islands. Yeah, and how it's been positioned again by the news as a terrible event. And of course, if you're losing your home, it is a very terrible event. And it reminded me then that in August 2001, I literally flew home from South America, turned on CNN, and witnessed an eruption that was happening on Mount Etna on the island of Sicily in Italy. And you know, it was positioned as this river of lava was heading down towards a mountain village, and what a tragedy it was. But I looked at the aerial footage of this eruption and I thought, oh my God, Earth is magnificent. What a dramatic thing. And within 48 hours, I was on the summit of Mount Etna.
Wow.
This scene. So
this is epic.
I just literally came from South America, washed my clothes, turned around, got on the plane, flew to Rome. A friend of mine from France drove down, picked me up, and we drove down to Sicily and went up to the top of Mount Etna, and I photographed this shot. And then later in the evening, as the eruptions were going up 500 feet, that river of lava was heading down Mount Etna into a village.
Oh my gosh, this is amazing.
You know, and eventually, then I started getting addicted to the excitement of lava and eruptions. And though our pictures are hiding one of us up on top of the Kaira Congo a volcano in the Congo, the country of the Congo, it was magnificent. It was around 11,000 feet, and you see other volcanoes in the distance. And below us was happening this amazing lava lake being fed by side volcanoes erupting, and not volcanoes, but explosions that were feeding the lake. So that's what it looked like at twilight. And then later on, as it got dark, the contrast of the dark and the light became really dramatic. And this was just a fissure that opened up on the crater right below the rim where we were standing. So it's very, very dramatic. Very dramatic.
This is dramatic.
And look at this shot with the heart in the middle.
Oh,
and
wow.
It looks like a human torso. And so eventually I started collecting all these dramatic volcanic shots for a book that will come out in 2023 or 24 called Fire and Ice. And it's an appropriate book simply because climate is changing, ice is having dramatic changes, and yet I am compelled to photograph the beauty and the austerity of Earth. And this is one of the foremost elements of Earth, is the fire that lives within the belly of the Earth.
Beautiful.
So I think it's beautiful. And though in the Canary Islands, as you see people evacuating and losing their homes, there is still the stunning beauty of the lava shooting out of the earth and creating rivers of lava heading towards the ocean.
Oh, I love this abstract. Beautiful.
It's a dangerous beauty. And in May of this year, in May 22nd, this volcano came alive again. I was there 2 years ago. In May of this year, an eruption occurred on this volcano in the Congo, came down the slope, killed 24 people, and displaced over 1 million people. So as I said before, it's a dangerous beauty.
Wow, what a story.
And lastly, this is a couple of years ago on the big island of Hawaii. And people may recall, again, a dramatic fissure opened up in a neighborhood, you know, right amongst houses. And this river of lava came out of the earth. And again, I got over there and I'm photographing aerials and abstracts because I find it extraordinarily graphic and beautiful from a design point of view. But looking at the footage in the Canary Islands right now, you see houses being overrun with lava. And this, again, on the big island of Hawaii, homes became just islands within a sea of lava.
Mm.
And it's just, there's nothing that stops it. There's nothing you can do that stops it.
Tragic.
And this was a chartered school surrounded by palm trees. And you can see the smoke of the lava in the distance. And this was photographed in the morning. And when we came back that afternoon, because during the day you don't really shoot lava because the contrast of the sun, it almost doesn't look like anything. But later on at twilight, we went back and that entire school, the entire forest was gone. It was obliterated.
Oh, wow.
So it's extraordinary to see how Earth really is so dynamic. And we're seeing with climate change, the big storms that are coming in off the Gulf. And, you know, if you saw everything that was happening on the Earth during the course of a 12-month period, I don't think you'd want to leave your home.
Mm.
And now when the river hits, the river of lava hits the ocean, noxious gases erupt as it mixes with the sea water. And that is a concern in the Canary Islands as well, because it becomes toxic and very, very difficult to breathe. So
This is epic. Oh, wow. Oh my gosh. Look at this.
Yeah, and we were on a boat. This is photographed from a boat perspective. And the following day, an explosion like this occurred and injured a bunch of people on the boat. And then they banned all the boats being that close to the edge of the lava. And this is from a helicopter. And look at the amazing steam coming off the ocean as the ocean is being superheated. And small vortex of wind was blowing, and there was little tornadoes. And it was just this ethereal, magnificent, beautiful scene, and yet dangerous and deadly.
Mm. And
you just, in a helicopter, you just don't want to fly too close to all that turbulence. So that's kind of tying in, as we will do every week, whatever's happening in the news, we'll try to find something that is relevant to what I've seen. Or
that's great. That's a really good idea.
I think that was
love these images. Beautiful, beautiful, epic. Actually reminds me, I think Bruce Amori is also tuning in live, our friend from Big Island.
Yes.
Reminds me of, you know, our trip to the Big Island with him.
That's right. What a great guy. I look forward to seeing Bruce again.
Yeah, so, he's not bad. Not as good as me, but he's good. Yeah.
Anyway, listen, I'm going to remind people now, this is a little video, and I'll talk about how that evolved in the second portion of this, but this becomes a little video that the truth of the matter is I had been to Iceland at least 12 times and go again. I'm trying to search for inspiration to try to do something differently. And I just thought, all right, I got an iPhone, I've got a camera that now shoots video really nicely. Why not try that as I'm also instructing and taking people on a tour? So Kyle, do I just punch this thing or
just tap it? Yeah.
Tap it like that. Okay, here we go. And we turned the music down so we can talk over this if we want to. But again, first time ever shot video. Wow, this is going to be my first video diary. And for Art Wolfe Live, every month, we will try to prepare some of the highlights of the previous 30 days. And in the days to come, my participants are going to really enjoy what Iceland has to offer. So it's all about motion. Everywhere there was motion, falling water, wind blowing, you know, the elements I was trying to capture with video, which you wouldn't do with a still image, right?
Mm. Oh, nice.
Iceland's all about falling water. Here in Iceland, I'm challenging everybody to use marginal conditions. Given lemons, you make lemonade. Given rain and wind and marginal lighting conditions, you have to take the advantage of that and create very atmospheric and moody images.
Oh, beautiful. Look at that.
We had 10 days of rain and wind and fog. So actually it's perfect. It was perfect. More opportunities than had it been bright sunshine.
Yeah. Oh, that's nice. Oh, look at that.
If you've gone back to a place many, many times, finding inspiration is the biggest challenge. And so this trip, video is the new form that I'm trying to accomplish.
Oh, nice.
We were lucky with these puffins. It was the last day they were on the land. Actually,
Oh,
they
wow.
left.
They're very cute.
They are amazing. And then gone. And so every month, we will try to present a video diary of the highlights of the previous 30 days.
Oh, nice shot. Oh, nice.
Thank you. We went there to photograph the volcano, but it was pretty quiet. That's our bus that we were traveling around in. For 10 people, that was pretty cool. All right, so what I want to do right now is then launch into, just to keep the timing perfect, is to show, give a little lesson when we're there. And so the whole idea, I was sitting on this bus, looking out in the gloom and the rain, and the forecast was for an entire week of pouring rain. And I'm thinking, oh my God, what can I do to teach this tour and have people have a good time? And I started looking at the rain falling on the front of the bus, and then I started watching the movement of it. And I thought, oh my God, it's beautiful. The way the rain on the windshield is dancing. Maybe I'll try to start shooting video. And that was the catalyst. I didn't go to Iceland with the thought of creating a little video, but it was the movement that was different than had I shot a still.
This is so cool, Art. This is so cool. Like, if I can say this, you're an artist, and also this is very, is what they say, mindfulness. Like, you are in the moment, you observe something, and it inspires you to create something.
And this was shot with the iPhone. So, we live at a great time because the iPhones, when they first started taking pictures, it's like, right. But now the videos are so great. And this was shot in slow motion. So,
lovely.
and then this is with my regular camera. And this little puffin was applying oil from its beak into its feathers, because the following day they all left and went out to the sea, and they won't come back to land now for months and months and months.
Wow.
So they have to be really buoyant. And so there's a lot of grooming. And so from a puffin point of view, I put on a stronger lens and I started positioning to get these more classic portraits. And I'm using the new Canon mirrorless camera. People have other Canon or, great cameras. I happen to shoot Canon, and I love the detail in these images.
It's beautiful.
Aren't they great?
This is lovely.
Beautiful birds.
Very distinctive.
Yeah. So there's 3 types of puffins on the planet. There's these common puffins. No, these are the Atlantic puffins. There's a common puffin up in the Bering Sea. And then there's the tufted puffin. And they're off the Oregon, Washington, Northern California, all the way up to Alaska. So they look very different, but they're all great birds and really quite approachable. They're not really afraid. They're almost analogous to penguins from the South. But look at
very
those
expressive eyes and the beak, distinctive beak.
Yeah.
These are using telephoto lenses. Are you pretty far away? Yeah.
Yeah, I'm using the 1:500 Canon mirrorless, lens that was built for the mirrorless camera.
Got it.
As I was touring with my folks, I'm always emphasizing the graphic nature of things. You know, the white waves, the dark beach, the dark sand, volcanic beach, and looking at positive and negative spaces. And sometimes I'm rendering it in black and white.
Lovely.
Or looking at, this is an old cinder cone that's just eroded away into the sea, but very vertical, jagged slopes. And then there's the ice. And as I said before, I'm working on this book, Fire and Ice. So I'm intrigued by ice, but I'm still looking at the possibilities. And here's, as I'm walking around this one floating iceberg in a little edge of a bigger lake, I'm trying to figure out the best angle to make it more graphic and simple. So I never just walk up and shoot the first sight. I'm kind of moving around. I'm moving back, incorporating the gravel on the beach. And that's what I hope to convey to people, not just to shoot one shot and move on. And you can see the variety of shots you get from the same subject.
It's amazing.
But it's no different than that rock off the coast. You know, it's still positive, negative space and balancing it throughout.
It's almost like distilling a simple image from a very complex set of possibilities.
Well, and in fact, that's perfectly stated, because that's what we do almost all the time, right? When you're in a forest, you're trying to make a simple graphic image. Yeah, out in the desert, you're doing the same thing. And here in Iceland, we were doing the same thing. Now, as I was walking along the edge of this very famous glacier lagoon that's about 45 letters long, so I'm avoiding trying to pronounce it, there was a very calm little bay with these icebergs. And as I was walking along, I started seeing how calm the reflections were. So I started getting into that, and I got really the camera low to the water's edge. And the lower it is, the more perfect the reflections. And the idea is exactly what I was teaching in Sedona and Moab earlier this year, of finding little ponds and reflecting these shapes, and then finally inverting them and kind of finding ways that remind me of a Georgia O'Keeffe watercolor. Or paint.
Yeah.
And it's
amazing.
fun, you know.
It's fun.
If you can be playful and interested and curious with your subjects, it's not always presenting it as you shot it, but presenting it as the possibilities of graphic design.
Oh, wow.
And finally, there was this, and this was late in the day as the winds and the terrible weather was building along the coast. And I love putting this into slow motion. And again, shooting this with an iPhone, and watch how beautiful this is as the water crashes against these icebergs. So recording that from a video point of view allows me to really study how the water's moving throughout the icebergs. And then, of course, I'm going to switch to my bigger camera and shoot longer exposures. And this is what's happening here. So with a camera on the tripod, long exposures, the waves wash in, and as they recede, they create a blurred motion, which is a beautiful contrast to the sharply defined iceberg.
Oh, lovely. Beautiful.
And this is late in the day again, and it was much darker than you see, but with a proper exposure, with a long exposure, it's creating magic.
It's lovely.
And again, this would find its way in with those volcanic shots I showed earlier.
This is incredible. This is the glacial lagoon, Jockelsberg or something, some such name. It's complicated.
So you were braver than I was. Yeah, that's the place.
That's the place.
I was there with Gabrielle some 25 years ago, and nobody was there 25 years ago. But now, I mean, everybody now knows, and they go, and it's a great place to go. So,
Yeah, yeah.
but these are my favorites, you know, where the
Beautiful.
blurred motion and sharp contrast and that graphic black sand with the clear ice. Oh my God, look at this.
Oh, I love this. Very moody.
Very painterly, right?
Very painterly. Beautiful image.
Thank you. So yeah, it was a joy. This, you know, when I was staring at the rain falling on the bus on the first day, it's like, oh my God, I hope we can nail this place. And we did. We had a perfect.
Oh, look at this. This is gorgeous. You could spend hours here, I guess.
Oh, without question. Yeah.
Beautiful.
And, you know, finally then, Parimal, I got on the flight on Icelandic Air back directly to Seattle, and I got a window seat, and everybody's got their shades down and they're watching movies. And I am looking and waiting for Greenland, and we just hit it right. And actually the pilot announced that we were approaching the coast of Greenland, and nobody actually pulled up their shades, but I jumped with my camera, I'm ready for it. And I photographed these shots, and these don't look like shots from an airline. You know? And there's no way I could possibly afford or even find a plane that would fly me privately at 40,000 feet. So there's really no other way you can get these kind of shots except from a jetliner. And what a perfect day. And
beautiful.
You know, clear windows, and boy, I'm so pleased. And why is it important to me? Well, Greenland is such a canary in the cage. You know, the ice is receding at an alarming rate, and then off the coast of Greenland is the Arctic Ocean, and the ice is melting on the ocean. So to have these kind of records of a changing environment for what I do for a living, this is imperative. So this was just the bonus at the end of the trip, and here we're looking at areas between Greenland and Baffin Island, and you can just see how the ice is receding and into tiny bitty bits, and polar bears, you know, need solid ice to get out and hunt their seals, and yet they are now relegated to the land and scavenging on land for a better part of the year until the dead of winter. So it's just important to have that. So that's my little presentation.
Very nice.
Good. We're at 25 minutes. So if there's any questions or comments, please, this is the part of the evening that's relegated for you guys.
Perfect. Perfect. This is, first of all, I want to say thank you. This is spectacular. I'm glad you got out to all these places in Iceland, and you know, and the videos. I have a few questions too, but I'll start with a few questions from our audience on Facebook. I'll read out both comments and questions.
Okay.
From Jackie Kliger, love the new format, you know, amazing. Sandra Grace is saying, wonderful video. Robert saying, so glad to see you back live. It's a good thing. Love Puffins. Hi from Mexico again, Eduardo. Reflections from Cynthia. Reflections are great, beautiful. Wow, fantastic. That's Nancy. Christine Eckhoff is watching, but we can ignore her. Yeah, let's ignore Christine. Yeah. Let's just ignore. Okay, question from Jim Wood. What lens did you use on the airplane?
I was using a 24-70. And
okay.
I find that as a great lens. Stronger lenses become a little more difficult because if you have the camera at any kind of an angle to the plane window, and it may well be glass, but it's probably a very strong plastic. I try to get the camera really parallel to the plane and shoot straight out, and then there's no distortion. If you shoot a wide angle, you're going to get distortion around it. With a telephoto, it reveals any kind of imperfections. So the 24-70 is the perfect one to use. And no polarizer, because that has a funky effect with the glass as well. That's
good. I learned something. Thank you. That's a good question. I'll try to next time get a window seat and not sleep is my lesson to do. One more question again from Jim. When shooting the geysers in Yellowstone, do you recommend fast or slow shutter speeds?
I would recommend both. I mean, as long as you're there, you try and experiment. So yeah, it's funny how people operate. If you're inexperienced, people kind of stick with one thing and then walk away. And that's when you start to that's when we as professionals start to really experiment with different angles, different exposures, long exposures, short ones. Yeah, every different angle. Simply put, you don't want to walk away from a subject with one take on it. It makes sense to have multiple versions of the same subject.
Yeah. From Ian, George, love all your images, Art. Curious if you're doing river expeditions anymore. I'm 4 hours ahead, so I need to sign out, but would love to know.
River expeditions. Is that it?
Yes.
Oh, we did a lot of rafting in the Arctic during the early 2000s, the late 1990s. I haven't been up on a raft in a number of years because I've got 7 books under contract, right? And so I'm working diligently trying to both teach workshops, do photo tours, but also work on the books. One of which is called Act of Faith. And we'll be showing video from the South Sudan at the end of end of October. And that, to me, is going to be a really good show because the people we are visiting, the Mandari, are very photogenic, as people will see. So definitely tune in. And I'll give those dates again. Or have I already given those dates?
I think we'll hit them in the end.
Okay.
So people can write them down.
Yeah, but I haven't done any river, just getting back. I haven't done any river tours in quite a while.
Got it. Question from Patrick. Glacier Lake images shot slow shutter speed with ND filters? ?
No ND filters, and it was pretty fast shutter speeds because even though the ice is in the calmness of the lake, there's currents that are running through it and they're slowly shifting. And so I think the critical thing was to put the camera almost to the water's edge. And with the new Canon mirrorless camera, I have the LCD that I can face upward. So I'm not trying to crane my eye into the viewfinder and my head into the mud. So that makes it a lot easier, but a faster shutter speed, probably 1/50th of a second, 200th of a second was good enough.
Got it. Cool. And that actually leads to a good question from Pete Peterson. How is the mirrorless system working out for you?
I love
Pete
it.
from Anacortes. You like it?
Yeah, I waited a long time until the viewfinder actually looked good enough that I could actually see what I was shooting. And the new Canon is so good. And I know the Sonys are great. So the viewfinders have become very, very good to look through. And so that's a great advance. And the fact that the mirror is no longer in the camera enables the manufacturers to make lenses smaller. So I've got a 1:500 that I can easily handhold, and then I can put a 1.4 extender on that and have a 700 that I can easily handhold. And you can imagine then what that allows you to do on safari on the back of a Jeep in Africa. So, I mean, I think the camera manufacturers are really making cameras better for their aging clients.
That's wonderful. I had one question, and then I can read out a couple of comments, as we close this out and you talk about dates for your future Art Wolfe Live. My question is, you have never done video, but yet you finally did video. So what was your journey like? Why did you not do video for all these years? And now that you're doing it, and now that you're doing it, do you think that also now makes you a better photographer?
I think those are two very good questions. The first one's easy to answer. Why should I start shooting video at my advanced age where kids grew up with a video camera in their hands that are excellent? And so I didn't want to play catch up with these punks. So I avoided that. And there's still a lot of things from a still camera point of view that I feel I want to accomplish. I've never sat back on my laurels and said, I've arrived, I'm happy, there's no learning. I'm always learning, and I'll be a better photographer next year than I am this year. That's what I truly believe. But right. To your second question, seeing that water dance on the windshield allowed me to experience a detail that I wouldn't have seen until I started watching that motion. And so the motion does reveal some subjects that I might have glanced over. So being a good photographer, from my perspective, is being a great observer. You start to notice the things that most people stomp on as they go to the grand vista. And so the more I can stop and start to scrutinize everything around me, I become a better observer and therefore a better photographer.
Beautiful, beautiful. On that, let me read out a nice note, and then we can hit upon some dates.
Okay.
This is from Linda Smith. You are an amazing artist and the greatest gift for your documentary of our Earth. That's very, very beautiful.
What a nice
very
comment.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
So with that, people are excited. Clearly, lots of comments. You know, we could go another 20 minutes with all the good things, but I know we want to keep it on time. So yeah. I love this format. I know you said we want to do this once a month. So why don't we hit upon some dates as we wrap this up?
Okay, I do want to acknowledge Kyle Jones, who works in my office. He put that video together. So I shoot the stills and it's just a bunch of random images. He puts it together and he works hard at that. So I wanted to say thank you, Kyle, for that. And I know he's working right now on next month's contribution and he's getting into it. He's having
cool. That's nice. That's nice.
So the dates for the next one are October 26th. And that will again be South Sudan, which is not a trip for everyone. I mean, I came away from that trip thinking, oh my God, I can't take anybody here. It's a little bit challenging. And then the next one all the way into November is a little earlier. It's November 23rd because I think we're dancing around Thanksgiving.
That's right. That's right. That's right. That's great. Can I also talk about our Earth is a Witness coming up?
Yeah, let's talk about that.
So as you all know, we also took a bit of a break in summer after having done 40 plus talks, and we're going to start the series back again. We did a little crazy schedule, like we did almost one a week, and that was a lot of work, with our day jobs and everything else. So what we thought is, let's take a break. We did a nice break, and then we will start. We would probably do once a month at least, maybe twice every now and then. But we are going to have one really exciting photographer and a Nat Geo explorer, James Baylog, on Tuesday, October 19th at 6 p.m. Pacific. Go live on Facebook and YouTube on Earth is a Witness channel. And I know, Art, you know James very well too.
James is not only an amazing photographer, he's a visionary. And so people will recall his name with Chasing Ice, but he's done all sorts of other remarkable things, studying old growth forests. And he was one of the first photographers, if not the first, that started taking wild animals out of context and putting white sheets behind them just to kind of show wildlife in a different light. Yeah. So he's always thinking. I really appreciate James. It will be a very engaging conversation.
Great. Everyone should check out his documentary on Netflix, Chasing Ice. And he's going to talk about his new documentary, The Human Element. Perfect. And it's going to be fascinating to see him talk about that and his new book coming up. And then we have a few more, actually many more planned. We're going to also try, I won't reveal the name, but another really big photographer who's going to talk about Afghanistan and Taliban coming up too. And we are looking at dates, but that could be another really, really exciting one. Again, something that's top of mind for a lot of us right now.
So, as we wind this down, I keep on looking at those auroras behind you, and it reminds me that in November, my latest book, Night on Earth, will come out. And so if people want to purchase a copy of that, they can come to our website. It's not just landscapes and stars and auroras, but it's also cultures and wildlife at night. So I'm very proud of that book. Again, that will come out in the middle of November. It's a late publisher because everything's delayed, as people are aware, but it's coming out and I'm very proud of that. So
it could be a great holiday. Yes, it could be a great holiday book for all of us. I'll be sure, buying my copy. I look forward to it.
Okay. Well, all
Well,
right. Well, I think we wrap things up. It's great seeing you, and thank you. And,
thank you. Thank you, everyone.
see
Thanks,
everybody
Art.
at the end of October.
Sounds good. Take care.
Bye.